2 homers and a realist. The Sooners win 35-7 against the mighty number 6 ranked Red Birds from the Illinois State. I'm Steve.
I'm Connor.
Lucas.
Mike.
Jay.
And we're here to discuss. This is the first podcast of the season for Postgame. And that means we get to thank our great, illustrious sponsors, Tobacco Exchange, 3 great locations throughout the metro area, Edmond, Oklahoma City, and most importantly, Moore, our home base. They have the best selection, the best staff, the best pricing around. Lucas, tell us a little bit about what we're smoking.
We've got a West Tampa Tobacco Company. I don't know what size this is. Bigger than a Robusto. Maybe Corona size. Never had this before. It's kind of bold. I like it.
Yeah, dark wrapper.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
No complaints from me.
No complaints at all. We really appreciate it. So, guys, we win 35-3. We don't cover the spread, which is, somewhat of a barometer of how good or not so good we did. But at the same time, we had, I would refer to this as a backdoor not cover, whereas sometimes you have a backdoor cover. This was a backdoor not cover. I think I'm about to get shot by a gun. I don't know what's going to happen here. So we could have covered had it not been for a critical turnover early in the game where Canick fumbles after a completion, and they wouldn't have scored had we not thrown an interception. So otherwise, should we not be fairly satisfied, at least with the score outcome? And how do you guys feel about it? Are you satisfied? Are you happy with what you saw?
Homer take, and I'm not, but even a non-homer take from a homer, I'm not satisfied. I think there was a lot to be desired from what we saw tonight, and I do wish that we kind of would have opened it up a little bit more. I will rest on the hope that we were just not showing a lot tonight across the board, whether it be whatever we're doing in the passing game or whatever we're doing offensively. But at the same time, I do expect a little bit more out of what we wish to see tonight. So not satisfied, happy with the win. Would have preferred a cover, obviously, but move into Michigan week kind of with a few question marks, in my opinion.
I feel the same way. My one word for today was disappointing. Strictly on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, defense, you give up 3 points and you held them because you turned the ball over on like the 30-yard line and only gave a field goal. So you're happy with that. And they had how many yards offense they had? 200-ish?
Something like that.
I'll take that any day of the week against anybody.
That. Yeah.
So defense played like they should have. I would like to see a turnover or two. I don't feel like we got a lot of pressure on them passing the ball, but we stopped the run pretty well. So
I mean, they only had 151 yards on the day.
No, I mean that's
I mean passing like 38,
34 passing. Yeah, 34 passing.
Hillary looked awesome. He was on his man. Gentry looking great out there. I think Boganowski started over RSJ.
he did.
But he still got in there and played. The biggest question
issue there.
The biggest question is offensive line again.
Yep.
We say this every year with Beanbo, but it takes him until a Texas game to finally get his guys in there in a flow. And even against the crappy teams we started with last year, we didn't play very well on offensive line. But we
didn't have that time this year.
We kept thinking, we've got guys that have played before. Everett's played before. Sexton's played before.
The crazy part is it's not just Beanbo now. You have Kevin Wilson, who was a premier offensive line coach. And you would think between the two of them that you would have your 5 ready to go for today.
I mean, I could see substituting Foje and Fasusi in but I was assuming that was going to be third quarter when it's already 42-3 or something along those lines. And then you let those guys play the rest of the game and see what they can really do against,
unless they didn't want them against backups or whatever.
Yeah. And then it didn't happen. So we never got Matier had to play every snap. That's awful.
Yeah, I mean, we lose our.
He would be out after.
Well, that was one of our. That was our prop bet.
Prop bet of the week.
Yeah, we
You
thought
think
he
that
was
was by design?
after the third. Well, it was only by design because we didn't score enough.
Yeah, I don't think they would have had him in had we.
Definitely.
If we were at 42-0 in the third.
I don't
think 28-3.
Yeah,
with
I
like
think
8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Why would you still have him in
8
there?
minutes is enough time for a team like this to come back on you
No.
and with
No,
mistakes.
no.
So you don't take
even
him
before,
out.
at halftime,
No way.
you
You
could
don't.
have.
No, that is not
So-
not enough margin.
You could have put in Hawkins in at
You're
halftime.
not burning. You're not burning a game of what could be his red shirt
Yeah.
by putting him in there when it's 28-3. You put him in there if it's 42-3 going
When you,
halfway through the third quarter.
when you basically
then
have
you
to
wanna
get Mateer out.
right?
So they
But with that low of a score,
I think if you want to get Mateer out in a game that you're up like that, you can put in the third string.
Not
That's
28-3.
possible.
I think you give.
we
yeah,
had both
not
agreed.
28-3.
We had obviously both teams agreed not to stop the clock on first down, like in the fourth quarter. I mean, it wasn't
It's like a
stopped.
running clock, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice
I
it.
mean,
Yeah, it was a running clock all
I was-
fourth quarter.
I ran into Whit Neubauer's parents at the airport on the way back from Chicago, and they didn't know what the plan was if we got up to a big lead. They didn't know if they were going to play Hawkins. And
Well, no
then,
kidding. Why would they know?
well, the coaches might have told them, "Hey, we're playing on red shirt and Hawkins. If we get up to a big lead and it's 42-3 at the end of the third quarter, well, then the third stringer is going to go in there instead of the second stringer,
bet-
essentially."
I bet that conversation never happens.
You don't think a coach has a conversation with the third string quarterback?
Probably.
That-
I would think.
Probably.
I would think that
Hawkins is
conversation
just-
happened.
I would think so too. Because if you're trying to redshirt Hawkins for sure, then you just wouldn't play him in these games. The only reason you would do it is
Maybe.
if.
I bet it's nothing more than you might play, and here's what it's going to take to play.
Well, that's entirely possible.
Yeah.
But shout out to
think
them. Hopefully
yeah.
they listen to the podcast tonight.
Yeah. No, it's great, and
He
he's
gets to be ready
he's
to
a
play.
very talented guy.
Yeah, I mean, he played at Mercer last year, and I think he led him to a conference title. Or,
Yeah.
I think so.
I actually really hope to see him in play.
I was hoping to see him
Um,
tonight.
I mean, I tonight is not necessarily the night you're going to see him, but I think you have a real good chance of seeing him against like a Kent State, maybe even a Temple.
Yeah, but
we'll
Illinois
see.
State should have been that one of those type of
Maybe,
games.
maybe this is probably the toughest of the three rum-dums that we're playing.
Or it's the first game.
But they're
And it's
also
the first
they're
game of the
also
season.
an FCS opponent.
So when I break down what we did and the elements of the game, just in terms of offense, defense, pass defense, run, pass offense, there's only one element that's weak, and that's run offense. Everything else was very strong, very strong. Mateer set a school record today for passing yards by a first-time quarterback at
Which is
OU.
crazy.
Right, but he
It's-
also played
yeah.
4 quarters. Baker didn't play 4 quarters. Kyler didn't play 4 quarters. You didn't factor that in.
Maybe not. I don't know. Look who
I don't know how many. I don't know if the quarters matter as much as the pass attempts matter. So we
Yeah.
have to look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would bet that
pass-
Baker
but-
came out midway through the third in his opening.
But Baker
game.
also had like deep passing routes. Like we had just a couple of mid passing routes. We didn't have anything that was over the top,
yeah.
going for broke with
Well,
the D.D. Westbrook
Whose
type of
fault is
deal.
that?
Well, I'm just saying that's not in the
If
stats.
the
So
offensive line was actually, they were blocking passing plays very well.
I'm just explaining
So why
why
were they
the
throwing
stats are
the
impressive.
deep ball?
392 yards is impressive.
I was
The-
shocked.
I
It was that
don't have
much.
any problem.
Did anybody feel like it was that much?
No.
No, I didn't feel like
I
it was
only
that
thought it
much.
would be around 350-ish based
You
on
did feel like it was 350?
based on the lack of running game. What did we finish with, like 110 yards or something?
Yeah,
was
something like
It
that.
wasn't
not
good.
good.
It
That
wasn't
was the
good.
only
The
element
only
I
thing that
thought
was working
good.
was the pass.
Pass was working. Both elements of defense were working. The only thing that didn't work was the run offense. So
103.
if I'm going to take a homer take to it, or that's the hope that all of us have to share, is that we were so plain vanilla that it didn't allow us to do anything. And the guy that's running the ball primarily, at least early, is Barnes, and he's not our real number one running back.
No.
Now,
Lawrence-
the counter to that is going to be they are an FCS school. You should probably be able to line up and just push them at your will and get the yardage and not average 3.3 yards per carry or whatever it was. That's very
I would
That
like
is
to know
concerning.
what Barnes does well, because this is his 4th year here. We've outside of that Florida State game where it was him and Sawchuk taking turns and they both looked good. We haven't seen Barnes be great at anything. He's not fast enough to hit the corner against Illinois State. Well, he's sure as hell not fast enough to get the corner against SEC teams. Even if our offensive line progresses, he doesn't have that burst to get to the corner. And it seems like when he's going
well,
up
that's
the
when he
gut,
got caught too.
he's running up the butt of the center and he's not going into, between the tackle and the guard or even like when Robinson got in there at the end, he took a handoff that was supposed to maybe flow to the right. And he literally made one little step to the left and got 7 or 8 yards. And Barnes never does that.
No, he's
It's
just
like
great.
he's
a
going to
great
follow
runner.
whatever the play is on the playbook. If it says
To a fault.
to a
Yeah.
fault where he has either no vision, or he's just so dead set on in practice, they're hammering it. You have to take this line, whether the hole's there or not, you need to go.
Well, that hits
where
on
the play
something.
goes.
That scares me.
I think
because
it's just
maybe
him.
it is
I think it's a
practice
him thing.
Think
But
our-
maybe that,
I don't think
maybe
DeMarco
that's,
can coach.
maybe it's DeMarco sees him in practice and the reward for what he's rewarding is the guy that explicitly follows instructions. And in practice, he explicitly follows instructions and no one really cares that the guy didn't get to the second level in practice. But in a game, you really care and you want it and expect that guy's going to do that. And if he does, so what you measure gets rewarded, and that's what's happening. It's good hearts
What was
law.
his long run of the
And
day?
maybe that's what's happening here.
That's just so unbelievable, though,
I mean,
to me.
was his?
No, it's
95
ridiculous.
yards?
If that's the case, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But I don't know what else to explain that explains it. It just is such a mystery to me, the entire rotation. Now, and it,
I mean, do you think DeMarco just ran to every hole that he was supposed to go into and never bounced it or never kicked it? No,
Definitely not.
of course he did.
9?
Because you can't as a running back.
9,
You
He
have
got
to
9 yards.
9 yards.
you have
How
to
many
jump
carries?
cut.
7.
7 carries for 9 yards, and he had a long of 6. That's not somebody that should.
Barnes?
Yes,
Yes.
that's not somebody that should be
Yeah,
even
dropped
on the
like a
field.
3-yard loss on this first.
I mean, if he's a third down blocking back, it's maybe he blocks the rusher well, then okay. But he should not be on the field.
Well, hopefully that was a thank you for sticking around, and
You're starting to.
that still bothers me.
Yeah.
I don't because I don't.
It shouldn't be in the thank you business. That's ridiculous.
I can get on board with that, but for tonight, fine. The rest of the season, no.
That I'll pass. Maybe, but
If he
then why
walks
did
out there
Ott
for
play?
Michigan,
Ott shouldn't play.
if he's the starter for Michigan next week, then it's a whole different.
Then
It's a whole
DeMarco should
different
be fired.
question. Yeah.
Something's messed up if that's the case. From everything we've heard about Ott, and if he can't get the job done, we've seen Robinson, we've seen Tatum, who's absent, we've seen Blaylock, who plays pretty well.
Blaylock looked pretty good today,
I-
especially on like.
Something has to give, and it starts with who's the starter, and then it starts with production. But if it's the Barnes show the whole time, what is it? These guys don't know the plays, they don't know how to block. What is it? Or are you rewarding the wrong thing?
The very first drive, when Barnes is running to his left, he doesn't even come close to getting the corner. When if Blaylock takes that ball, or Ott takes that ball,
Any of them,
or
honestly.
Robinson takes that
Any of
ball,
them.
they're all getting the corner and at least picking up that first down,
Yes.
first drive. Instead, we're punting. That's not a great way to start
Completely
against an FCS team.
No.
You take the kickoff.
Well, the
and you
first
three
two
it out.
drives were just pathetic. Mike, you had something to say about that. Just that the entire play calling in those first two drives were just absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Like what were they even trying to accomplish?
It looked like we weren't trying to get a first down. And when Canick ran his route, we
On the
looked
first
straight
drive.
at him. Yeah, the first drive, he looked straight at him. He ran it 4 yards and hitched, and they threw it to him, and we were 3rd and 8. There was no reason he's your first option. Either he didn't run the right route, or
They kicked it into high gear in the third drive. The third
Yeah.
drive, they came out with what I felt like was a little bit of swagger and a little bit of urgency, and definitely moved the ball down the field. Obviously, it produced a score, but they were consistently moving the ball like they lit a fire under him a little bit.
so
And maybe that's part of it. It's hard to light a fire under these guys, and for an opponent like this, and it was spurts because at times they just went into a shell.
So going way back, Baker Mayfield had 33 attempts against Akron in a 41-3 win. He was 23 for 33 for 388. I think tonight we had 30 for 37 for 392. So
Pretty
beat him
confident.
by 4 yards.
Pretty close.
Pretty
I mean,
close.
pretty close. They're
Uh,
probably pretty close opponents, actually.
I think there's probably something to be chalked up too, is everybody thought it was going to be a big win. This is everywhere it
I
happens.
think I had the lowest
Right.
margin of victory.
Among us, yeah. You did.
I'm
And
smart.
you had it pretty big.
But if the players think it, maybe they didn't prepare as hard.
Well, getting to preparation, one of the conversations we were having earlier was just how much preparation did they even bother doing as a coaching staff? Did they do anything beyond just a cursory look at this opponent? I doubt they spent a lot of time.
I bet they spent this
focusing
week
on that.
max.
Yeah.
I think they spent all off season on Michigan and
Right.
Texas. Michigan and Texas.
Well, and I bet they didn't spend hardly any time with a strategic game plan of here's what we're going to do and when we're going to do it and how we're going to do it. We're going to pick on this player and we're going to try to expose this.
If I had to
situation.
guess, we ran 15 offensive plays with a few variations off of each one. At most.
That'd be well, defensively too, right?
Probably defensively is probably less.
Yeah,
We probably ran 5 defenses.
Bowen blitzed twice, and I can't think of
and I
any other
would,
blitzes.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them to blitz at all, right? I mean,
Right.
we don't need to show that. I'm glad they didn't.
I don't know. I mean,
there's 20 years of tape on Brent Venables'
that's right.
defenses.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
That's nothing special coming out.
it's not like we
blitz-wise.
have unique.
I don't disagree with that at all.
We don't have unique
the whole
passes.
stuff-
No, but there is how you use
Defensively, I
personnel.
can see it, but defensively
Right,
right now,
Right?
Right.
You have individual personnel from year to year.
yeah,
That's
Who's-
the only thing you
Who's
can
gonna
hide.
be the guy?
That's the only thing you can hide. Yeah.
And they could be hiding that for sure.
I mean, nobody figured out Ante Jones was going to blitz.
So when you look at specific plays, one of them, or I guess a couple of things that worry me a little bit. We didn't really get a chance to see any clock management issues, except perhaps the one fourth down where they get up like they're going to run the tush push. I'm going to call it the belldozer, and then they break from that and they're doing a hard count, and they actually jumped at least once. You guys said twice. I didn't see the twice, but still, it wasn't a big enough jump that obviously they touched, but they were there where if you know what you're doing, if you're hard counting, why didn't you snap the ball? And they don't snap the ball, they have to call a timeout.
Right.
And that really worried me. I think if they called a timeout to punt the ball, that's a problem. They didn't. They went for it. They got the fourth down pickup. And then later in fourth quarter, it's a little bit longer. I guess technically it was 4th and 4. It looked like it was a 4th and long 3.
Yeah.
And they run a deep route that just to me was high risk. Yeah, sure. If he catch him off guard, it's great, but it's an FCS opponent. Why don't you just do something safe, get the first down and go?
And literally he could have picked up the first down running.
Yeah,
exactly.
Instead,
That's where you're all
you
yelling.
throw that to Cannon.
Yeah.
And then
We're
like the
yelling,
safety came
run
over
for the
and
first.
tipped it kind of, and then Cannon tried to get the rebound and didn't get it.
But we don't know.
Tier could have got 4 yards on that and he got the first down.
We don't know if they told him, "Don't worry about it. We know you can get that. Just try and force it down the field." Or if he just made a poor choice.
And in their defense, it could be that they're saying, you know what, that gives everyone a reason to look, and Michigan has to respect that we might throw it deep,
And it
and
keeps
now we
us run
can do
even
the
more.
safe thing. Huh?
It'll if
It allows us to run.
it
even
allows us to run even more.
Exactly. That could be the case. But some of us took took OU given the points. We needed the margin, baby.
So, yeah, we definitely needed that. I could see that too. That same logic is with Canick and how we threw the ball to him to show people he is an
weapon.
athlete. You actually have to cover him. His fumble didn't help. He also
Everything else looked good after
he-
that.
Well,
Was he the leading receiver?
he might have been.
No.
We hit him over the middle.
Countess loses. Leading receiver.
Yeah, Lewis had 119. Canick had 90.
But is
But-
it a deal where
But on Canick,
Michigan focuses on him and we don't even look at him next week?
Yes, very likely.
but on Canick's 48-yard catch, where he had the sort of the post route, after he caught it, instead of just outrunning the guy and trying to score, he turned and ran back into the guy and tried to hit him.
He's a
And
man's
Well, I think
man.
He
tried
had
to
a
slow
little
down
bit-
and let the guy juke. He thought he was Tom
too much defense in
He
him.
was trying to hit the brakes and let him fly by. That's what he was trying to do. It just didn't work.
But I do think there is a little bit of maybe we try to throw it to him to make sure they're safety or whoever covers
That's
him.
probably
on-
true.
keep
Keep him
honest
on.
with
Keep
the seven,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah. And there's probably
I mean-
a lot of truth to all this.
Now we sub a lot for run situations, pass situations, and maybe that's. I mean, we threw our tight ends a lot tonight,
Yes.
Relative, yeah.
Well, in fact,
And-
I'll have a point about that.
and so maybe we're trying to say to Michigan, if we put our tight ends in, you can't put your big package in on defense. You have to keep a defensive back in because we're going to run them down the field.
That's a great point, and that's next level thinking. That's a chess mindset of I'm going to think about what I'm doing next. So there's definitely a possibility there. We got to give them a little bit of credit that could be what they're doing. But I look at it and say, is it possible to say that honestly, Joe John Finley right now is ahead of DeMarco Murray in terms of who is the worst or most worrisome coach, right?
I would agree.
I mean, the tight end group looks better than the running back group. And I have less questions about what's going on.
Well, we've
than I
been
do
worried
before.
about DeMarco for 2 seasons.
Right. And the only reason we haven't put him in the spotlight as much is because of Joe John Finley and all their wackiness, which Bauer Sharp had a fumble today that set up a Clemson field
Did he
goal.
really?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of these are the concerning points on offense for sure. They got to get their act together, we know, and fast with the offensive line. They did have, Jay, you pointed out to me earlier, they had a lot of substitution and a lot of mixing and matching. They were moving people around a lot.
Which is normal for
Which,
Beanbo.
yeah, not bad. I'm
But-
not saying it's bad. I'm saying
we
that's
were
like
hoping-
experimentation. That's good.
I just
Personally, we were hoping to just have a
Solidify.
5 that you're going to go into,
Yeah.
you know, comfortable going into Michigan with.
exactly.
Which one of them probably was injured and now can't happen with the Susie.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, the thing with Fasusi is now you basically can't play him next week. I mean, your first collegiate game can't be Michigan,
Could be.
right?
Caden Green's first game was Texas.
Was that his very first snap ever in college, Texas?
Probably not.
No. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he can play Fasusi next week or not.
Well, to start, like maybe he works himself in when we're up 28-0.
Did they swap Everett out the second half?
Yeah, Michael
Yeah.
was the center.
The snaps look better in the second half.
Yeah, the snaps
like-
were wide.
I feel
Michael,
like Everett is a floater, which gives the defense a better jump on the ball.
Well, half
If
second.
Mateer's waiting
Really?
to get there.
Who used
He
to
wrapped up Deion Burks on that inside screen pretty well. Backed it down and then
Who
he
used to float? A couple years ago. Was it Bates?
No,
No.
it was Rain.
yeah.
Rain.
Oh yeah.
Rain
Yeah.
sucked.
Rain was a problem.
That was a snap to Dylan Gabriel that was always on the wrong side.
Yes,
Rain
not
was not
yeah,
good.
and it caused the
It was
RPO or the zone read completely off.
So I'll tell
And
you
and
something.
he was snapping it to the
So
right.
To
on
the
the left.
when he was a left-handed quarterback.
on the line issue. Yeah, you're trying to find your best line, but you can't be trying to find a functional line against an FCS team. That we couldn't line it up in the first quarter and just run straight ahead
Maybe
and
they
get
didn't
2
care
or
about
3
that.
yards.
Maybe they're sacrificing that.
But they have to be functional.
I know.
You're
I know.
you're not trying to be any Division I football team. You're trying to be a top tier team. You have to have
Well,
enough
that-
talent to
Maybe
push
their
off the guy.
argument, but maybe the argument is to get to top tier. We've got to find the combination that works. And we're going to use this game as a practice game with experimentation. That's the only thing I can say to be charitable were what we saw.
What I find
But if-
strange with the O line is the players that were out there tonight they've played
Right.
in the SEC. And they actually had good moments at times last year.
Right.
So they should be able to move people tonight.
That's my point. I mean,
So
if
it
you
doesn't make
brought-
any sense though.
Yeah.
Like, is it an effort thing? Is it a want to?
yeah, I mean, if you brought just another sport, like you brought OU's basketball team and you went and played Langston or so, like you would expect them to blow them out. That
Right.
like we have
Yeah.
played in the SEC. These guys should just blow them off the ball.
That is the best defensive line in all north
Well,
of the
that's true.
Macon
That's
Dixon
true.
line,
That's
not
true.
at any level of football, including the Bears, including the Vikings.
I mean, normal Illinois is known for 2 things: State Farm and defensive line play.
True.
That's-
They are a lot of tryhards though. That is, and joking aside, that
Definitely
is-
tryhards for sure.
that is a team that puts in a lot of effort and they actually are wanting to win at football. They're
it's just-
probably wanting to get to FBS level.
And it's the Super Bowl.
It is their Super Bowl. So I think they were probably more serious than we were giving them credit for. But
So that
I
is a
don't
good
disagree with the concern.
But that's a good point. You have a lot of guys on that team, regardless of what their coach says previously, or if they feel they can win or can lose, or
Mhm.
in this game. There's a lot of players with thinking, if I have a really good game, I can transfer to a bigger school
Yeah.
Right.
next
You'll
year.
make money.
Right.
So those individual players are trying really hard in this game.
Yeah.
And our guys feel like, well, I'm already on the team. I'm just doing
Yeah,
what,
there's no reason.
I'm doing what coach is telling me
Well,
to
the
do.
guys should be fighting for position because the 2 deep could go any way. Like
Oh, I agree.
You got multiple guys out there thinking they should be the starting safety. You got a couple guys at corner that are trying to keep their jobs from guys that are pushing them. And then offensively, you're waiting for Gibson to come back, the new transfer Gibson, not the
Giovanni.
old Gibson that's probably never coming back. But you're looking at guys that are trying to make their mark. So you can't say that they're trying harder on the other side, on the other team.
Yes, they are. They're definitely trying.
I don't think so.
I think
They're definitely trying.
I think they're trying harder for a couple of reasons. One, they don't want to be playing for Illinois State. They think they're better than that. And two, there's a lot of guys on our team that have a lot of money in their pocket because of NIL, and so they already got their paycheck.
I did not play the Division I level, but you definitely play down to your opponents. I don't know why. It doesn't matter how much you tell yourself you're not. It just happens.
It's not.
It's weird.
It's
really
not an
weird.
Alabama pod, but you look at Alabama, Florida State. You don't think Alabama players all summer long
Yeah.
watch tape on Florida State from last year and say, "Hey, we're gonna beat these
You had the Florida
guys."
State guy talking shit, saying that Saban's not on the other side coaching, so I'm not worried about Alabama stopping me. You would have thought Alabama would have taken umbrage to that and gone after him.
Yeah,
Either that or they just say, yeah, we'll watch this. We
Yeah,
don't care.
people our age think that way.
Did it.
Yeah.
You saw snowflakes.
They might, I don't know. I think they see that and they think this kid's an idiot. This guy's an idiot. We're going to dominate.
A real big throwback. Bud
It
Wilkinson
reinforces.
said, "Everybody has a will to win. Who has the will to prepare?" And that's the thing. I think we don't prepare as hard as we should.
Well, I definitely podcast down to the level of my podcast opponent for sure.
We know.
And so one of the things that I think was a notable that was really good was Titania at punt return. I thought that was really good. I thought that he fielded the ball great. I mean, he caught it with confidence under pressure when he had to fair catch it. He made guys miss. He definitely, I mean, on that one block in the back that was totally unnecessary, he had a huge return that's called back. So he shows explosiveness. I'm very excited about seeing him return.
Well, I
the
can
ball.
tell you from the end zone seats, normally when I'm sitting back there in the last decade,
Dude,
I've watched the
binocular.
punts come in and then
It's blowing down and everything.
wave it off and,
like crazy.
and take the fair catch, or
It's like you're catching.
I see him catch it and then go into the coverage.
Yeah.
But today, he literally, if it was open to
Saw
the right,
everything in front of him.
it didn't matter if the play was called for him to go left, he was going to the open space on the punt returns. And that was great because I don't think we've done that for a
Well,
while.
he's had like 3 punt return for touchdowns at Arkansas.
I mean,
in
it looks like he knew what he was doing, regardless
In
of whatever,
SEC
football.
whatever it was called as far as which way the wedge was supposed to go. He was going where it was open. And that
Yeah, I was
great
very
to see.
impressed by that. And that's even with me being very impressed by their punter. Can we
Their punter's
poach
good.
their punter?
Yeah,
Their
punter's
punter was
good.
great.
He had 3 inside the
Yeah.
5, I think.
Yeah. He put
Yeah.
it right where he needed. I mean,
And he's
not
great.
just, he
Yeah,
hit it and it would roll
punch
sideways. It
with
was
a back
everything you
spin.
want.
Oh, yeah.
It was really great
Yeah.
punting. So if anybody maybe is getting the
I feel like
NIL
there's
deal
a
on the
lot of
transfer,
there's a
he's
lot
the
of
guy.
lower level teams that have great punters. And I don't know if it's because they get so much practice,
I'm sure they get, well, it's
so much in-game
practice
experience,
and they go to the schools where they're going to get to punt.
or they're just, I'm going to go to school here and just getting a punt.
It'll
all
be
day.
interesting to see in the NFL what the difference between like power 4 punters are in the league as opposed to just the random, Illinois State.
So I have a thought on that. I think what you have, big schools don't prioritize recruiting punters.
Right.
So there's
Clearly.
only a few kickers or punters that really get scholarships or looks from big schools. So you have a lot of punters and kickers who probably a little bit more on the smart side, who get scholarships to go to small schools and they play football and then they work their way up to
Mhm.
become punters at bigger schools.
That's reasonable.
Or there's just not the interest in recruiting them.
Right.
I mean, how many
No, I think
years,
that's a
how many years at OU they have basically open tryouts to who wants to be a punter?
Hit the ball.
Right.
Like I bet the Ivy League schools have great kickers and punters.
I don't know about that, but that's you're taking it to a big extreme on that deal. I don't know.
I just think there's
Maybe
a lot
so.
You can research before the next. the
But
Wednesday,
going back to the punt
what the
return
difference in power
situation,
and random schools.
if you
NFL.
get like
That's got-
7 yards on a punt return on average, like that is really good.
Oh,
That's all you need.
And so
huge.
all the dancing around that people do, it's just catch the ball and just go
And
forward.
that's what I
And we
saw out
did
of
that
him
tonight.
Yeah.
Hidden yards, right?
Yeah.
They call it hidden yardage.
Yeah. And it's not just that. So
Or catch it
the
and not let it
seven-
roll.
The 7 average is from where he catches it. Because if you let it roll, it's no one keeps track of the net, which is probably 15 or 20 yards of it going the other direction. So it's a big difference maker in getting possession and positioning on the field.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
this is a little bit separate, but unfortunately, Texas's punter was incredible today.
Lower level school.
Low level school.
Yes,
Yeah.
they pinned them inside the 5 3 times on punts.
Wow.
Ohio State
They
had
have to punt that
terrible.
much.
terrible field position.
Is their punter gonna get the Heisman?
Maybe
Okay, because
It's not a
Arch is
Texas
not.
play. It's not a Texas play.
he's on the next commercial for Jersey Mike, the Texas punter. With the
So, but going back to returning though, I do think it plays into game planning. If you are punting to us, you have to contemplate, you don't want to outkick your coverage.
Right,
There's a lot of guys
Oh,
who can
yeah.
kick it who can kick it far.
and that's not it. That's
And
not
they're
good.
gonna have coaches say, no, we need you to kick it where you can get to it.
Yeah.
And like tonight, Illinois State on their first punt, the guy held the ball for 5 or 6 seconds and waited for everybody to get down there before he punted it.
And then backspun on the 5-yard line. or
Yeah.
whatever it did.
Well, that.
But I mean, they knew what they were doing.
And we weren't putting pressure on that. So one thing that we did against whoever we started with, a year, did we start with the block kick last year or was it the year before?
Last year.
We
Hayden
didn't,
Bowen blocked
yeah,
something.
yeah, and we weren't trying. And I took some confidence out of that to think, okay, we know we don't have to put pressure on that. We're not even showing them how we can go after something. So hopefully, one, we have some pressure packages we can bring, and two, we have confidence in him returning the ball to know it's not a big deal. We don't have to. That's not where we have to create a play. We can create a play by he gets the ball and he makes something happen.
Personally,
You have a new special teams coach, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah. Personally, I like putting pressure on the punt
Oh, I do too. I'm just saying we
because
didn't do it.
not to get to the punt to block
To
it per
force him to
se.
kick.
It's just you have less gunners.
Right.
If you keep their gunners in because you're bringing the heat,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
gives your return guy less
No, and I
people he
think
has to
we
go.
did that. I'm just saying we didn't try to block.
No, I'm just saying I don't know why that's not doesn't happen more.
They brought the heat on our first punt, and our punter might have broke the top of his foot because he hit the point of the ball.
Actually, sometimes they go for that. Well, I think
Right.
we're in agreement then about what we saw. It was sluggish. It was not what we expected. I expected them to cover the spread, and even though I'm going to give them that they could have done it a backdoor cover in reverse that we didn't get it. It's a disappointment that we didn't do better. It's a disappointment that we didn't put them away, and it's a real big disappointment that our run game wasn't able to just do what we wanted to and exert our will.
You know when you go to the kitchen and you're expecting a banana, it's got a
Right.
little bit of brown spots on it. It's like,
Okay.
oh, it's just right.
But
But
yeah,
instead, it's like super green
yeah,
and ripe. That's how tonight felt.
That sounds gross.
it was a green banana.
It was a green banana
Bananas are
night.
nasty.
Tonight was a green banana.
Yeah.
I like that. That might be the name of the pod, a green banana.
It's-
You got a point there.
I just said it's how it felt.
Aside from you
So,
feeling
no,
that,
yeah,
banana,
I was still,
So we're just at, we're
Satisfied?
just a non-ripe banana.
I was still satisfied.
are we gonna write?
But
we're
it
gonna
just-
write
we're
it
gonna
next
wrap it
week?
up.
That's building
Yeah,
Bill's
yeah.
life story.
It
The green
wasn't as
bananas are better
good.
for
It
you.
wasn't
It
as
doesn't become
good.
ripe banana
See,
until
green bananas have more fiber.
No,
and
but
so
the
you're
more
looking for a
brown
sugary
spots they
banana.
have, the more sugar
Yeah.
has been created.
So-
That sugary
how-
banana.
We got a botanist over here. We should-
How
let's get-
how concerned are you guys with next week?
I'm green banana.
Very concerned.
I'm very concerned. I'm more concerned too about the video board guy.
Concerned?
The video board guy doesn't like Canic very much because on his hold, Canic turns and's like showing that like like what's gone on to the ref, and then they replay it a couple times so everybody can see him yank the guy down.
The announcer, let's talk about fan experience.
Okay, I was gonna turn to stadium experience
Okay.
after,
All right, but hold on.
and then we'll get back to
How
Michigan.
concerned? I think you have to be.
No, we're going back to Michigan next. Okay, how concerned?
How concerned? I think you have to be pretty concerned. You never thought to get to 35 points you were scoring 14 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You would have thought it was like
Fair point.
all other
Fair point.
years where if you're not going to cover, it's because you're at 35 after 3 and you're wondering,
You're-
are we going to try to score anything in the fourth? Are we going
Right.
to down this? Are we going to down it at the 40 and not kick a field goal?
Like in the last pod, I said 35-3 was my halftime prediction.
Right.
Exactly.
And so that's what I'm saying. So you have to be concerned that we had to score 14 in the fourth quarter to get to 35.
Yes.
But is it better than
We were ripening up.
No.
what?
We were right. We were really green in
Yeah,
the first quarter.
No, but is it better than? I don't know how to phrase this.
I know what
Yeah,
you're saying.
it is. Yeah,
Better than
it
if we
is.
just showed up and everything worked and we win 63-0
Yes.
and we got nothing to look at.
We beat
No,
Yeah,
last
you're-
year was so poor, right? This was
Yeah.
still significantly better than last year. I think
Yes.
Yeah.
if
Okay,
last year's
yes.
team was here tonight, It might have
It
been a
would've been a
dogfight. It might have been.
It would have been. It would have been. Now,
It would have been. I mean, we had a dogfight against Houston last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, who couldn't block anybody, and
Very
were horrible.
comparable opponents, actually, probably.
But yes, going into this game though, knowing how last year was, knowing that there are multiple people who are saying Venables is coaching for his job, some maybe on this pod, you would think
Before
that
he's fired.
you would think they would come out and say, we want to assert that we are better than we were last year. We're going to come out and score. We're going to look impressive. And then we're going to start mixing things up. And instead, we came out and looked very, very sluggish.
Maybe.
No, we did. We did. It's a fact.
No,
we
no,
were
no, no.
sluggish. We only scored 7.
Maybe the other part. Maybe that's true. Or so I can either give them a lot of respect or it's a lot of concern. It's a lot of concern if they're so stubborn that they're going to still do the same thing they're going to do and they're not going to come out and know they need to light a fire. It's pretty respectable if they say, I'm going to put all that noise aside and I'm going to focus on the job because I've got a full 12-game season to work on. And this is game 1 of 12. Here's what I know is going to win me this game and build everything I need in the best position to win going forward.
I agree.
Okay.
I think there's a chance you could have come out and absolutely kicked their ass.
Okay.
By
I mean,
doing something different.
I hope.
By doing the whole playbook or
Yeah.
getting your team amped up to
Right.
save
And kind of blow
save
your wall.
face for Venables.
Like, you don't get so many
the
shots
fan
to-
base.
Because how are you going to get them up for Michigan if you've spent all that
Yeah.
effort getting them up for Illinois State?
But let's say, okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I fair. Maybe you're saying we don't want to overwork them, but going into the game, you had time to prepare,
20
whether if you did it for a day or 2 days. At halftime, you had time to adjust a few things and plan for the third quarter. First quarter, we scored 7 points. We scored the 7 late, and we scored 0 in the third.
I'll give you that. Coming out at halftime,
Yeah.
you probably should have been a little bit more on point.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That we
that's
came out
actually
and
a
looked
concern.
flat.
Yeah, it is concerned.
They're saying something at halftime to them. And was it like, let's be as pathetic as we were in the first
Yeah.
quarter?
Right. I mean, it was.
Was
I mean,
it like pat him on the back, everything's okay?
Yeah.
Because that's bad.
And it also, I mean, I'm a stickler for a lot of things, but when they come over to do their stretching out of half, you have offense on one side and defense, and it's like the strength and condition coaches hadn't worked on exactly what stretches we were going to do because they're like looking at each other, and then they're like, okay, let's do high kicks, and some people are doing knee pulls, and some are doing high. It's like, have we not thought about that? Like what are we doing? Are we just figuring it out as we come out?
Those are question marks, but I'll tell you some other questions.
It's only year 4, Mike.
Yeah, right. Give
Give
him time.
it some time.
So, and keep in mind, we
Baby
hired
steps.
people to take care of recruiting, so they don't have to worry about that
Yeah.
anymore. I'll tell you something that's got a lot of question marks, and that's fan experience. Let's talk about that. Lucas introduced it, and I don't know where to start, but this is game 1, big game, fairly good weather. It's a lot of hype. The atmosphere down here was tremendous. The crowd was tremendous. It was not just a sellout, it was a true sellout. They're packing the stadium. We're walking there and parking is just completely done. It is, the fans showed up, right? And we go to get into the stadium, and did they make any improvements?
No.
No, it's horrible. It's a horrible long line.
Same amount of gates open.
Same amount of gates not open.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's funny is I'm hearing it from lots of different people. So if you are listening to the pod and you don't come to the games, you need to understand what these people are griping about is real gripe.
I don't know how you can hear anything from people because I can't hear.
That's true.
The speakers
We're all
were
dead.
on 11. The Spinal Tap 2 is coming out in a couple months.
Mhm.
They're remaking that, and
Yeah.
everything was turned up to 11 on the speakers.
It was, well, that's what they said. They
couldn't-
didn't say they did that.
I
They
literally
said
put my fingers in my ear during, almost in between every single defensive play. They're running 30 seconds of a different song every time.
and you are,
I'm fine with third down,
and
but you don't need to do it every single play like it's an NBA game.
and you can't. Okay, yes, I don't like the circus
I went-
NBA game.
I went to Oasis in Chicago 2 nights ago.
Was it as loud?
And it was not as loud as the speakers.
And I
at
want
the
to ask
football
you
field.
something about that because at OU you sat as far away from the speakers as is humanly possible
Actually
to be
do.
in the stadium.
Yeah,
I'm on the
literally,
top
you
field
do.
on the north end
You
zone.
literally
And you
do.
as far
sat
as you
far
can be.
away at the Oasis concert,
No.
and it was louder
Yes.
today.
I literally I had a headache 5 minutes into the game.
And I've never been one to defend the band very much because I think they're a little uppity and I got
The
my
band
problems
sucks.
with it. But the band, and I love the band. I'm a
They
big
suck.
supporter of the Pride. Connor doesn't like them. But no, all that
Did they
aside,
play tonight?
Oh, you never.
you
said
wouldn't know if they played tonight.
Yeah.
Because they get overplayed by the damn speakers
Okay.
that are going constantly.
They're
All
pumping
we
in
get
music.
is pumping in music.
If
Pumping in band.
if I was gonna OU traditions, very few. Thankfully, we're not Texas A&M, but holding up a one and saying "oh" before the kickoff is a historical tradition. Tonight, we blast music,
Yeah.
until the kicker hits the ball.
Yeah.
So if anybody was doing that, no idea they were doing that. Then it was like we had never been to a football game before at OU. We're gonna have the East Side say Boomer,
Right.
and the West Side say Sooner.
Right.
But then we're gonna pump music really loud as the cheerleaders are trying to do it.
Yeah.
And then somebody realized, oh, shut the music off. And we got about one or two of those.
And-
like we didn't need that.
I'm so sick of hearing the third down. Dun, dun, dun. Listen, no, we all get it. It's third down. I understand you're trying to create an atmosphere that's difficult for the opponent, but at some point it's just a joke.
Right.
And and what you're doing is you're causing your crowd to say, well, I don't have to do my job as a fan to yell because they're doing it for me. They're making all the noise they need to make. I'll just sit here and watch the game passively.
Right.
It-
I'm not gonna yell over their noise
Right.
because it's so loud. So
Right.
why even yell? I mean, it is.
It
it's
literally
ridiculous.
hurt my ear. How many times did your watch go off?
Yeah, it went off like 9 or 10 times of hearing loss warning.
I don't remember what game it was last year, but there was a couple sitting next to me who is from out of state and they flew in for the game. And the woman was just beside herself. She's like, I don't remember it being this annoying and this loud.
It wasn't.
It usually
Probably Tennessee or Bama.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten louder the last 3 or 4 years.
I remember the
Mm-hmm.
good old days where we griped in the North Carolina game because the wave went around like 20 times.
The wave sucks.
The wave sucked, and we went around
Don't
like
do
20
wave.
times.
But we're very anti-wave here.
I agree. The fan experience starts off by getting into the stadium when there are hundreds of people deep. There can't get in. You finally get in, and
At least put some freaking, barriers to make a line. It's literally a wedge. It's a cone.
It is a cone.
It's
In
a
fact,
cone
you
of
have to
entrance.
know which ones you're going to go in and which you're not. We
It's very
strategically
strategic,
did
yeah.
not get into one line because we know where that line curves in, other people cut into that line
Yes.
and you don't get in.
right.
So there's that. And then once you get in, it's, did you get your tickets moved to
And
the
you
right
only
place?
fake being handicapped so many times.
Right.
Well,
Right?
well, wait.
So we go
I mean,
up.
how many times do I have to live?
Yeah, exactly.
My concession stand ran out of hot dogs.
I only have so much drool.
You've got
Right.
just issue after issue of this is not a pleasant experience.
So we bought our tickets at the in the East Side Stadium Club. So you have to scan your tickets. We went up the stairs, so we didn't have to wait in the really long
You
line.
said on the east side?
Yeah, so we went up the
He's-
stairs.
He's an east sider?
East side.
I've never, I've only seen the East Side in the seat
Man.
section, so it was a step up.
That's
wow. But no, we went up, and then you have to scan your tickets again to get into the club.
Feels very
Okay.
different.
And they give you a wristband so that you can come in
Okay,
and
so they had enough wristbands
And
for all
so
the
you
seats,
would
right?
think they knew this football game was happening, they'd have enough wristbands.
Oh.
No, they ran out of wristbands. So we stood in the stairwell for no less than 20 minutes while they had to go find more wristbands. It was ridiculous.
Well, they had just scheduled this game like what, yesterday? Yeah,
I think they found out, hey, I think we're playing football this year.
So that's indicative of so many things. They ran out of hot dogs in our area.
Right.
It's just one thing after another that they're doing, and I can't get past the noise. The noise,
The noise, it's brutal.
it's unbelievable,
How
and
many
it's
extra
so much
hot dogs do you
louder.
have over your section?
A lot.
Yeah.
It
So
was,
you took our hot dogs.
Yeah.
yeah, she was loading them up. She said, these are West Side hot dogs.
No, you're right.
I was like,
You're-
they're delicious.
Getting into the game should
Double
be
fisted
easier.
it.
Right.
10 years ago, they had probably at least 30% more gates
Yeah.
than they operate currently.
I have a picture of my friend
And
who
it's
walked
the
by and the
same-
gates were closed.
It's the same 83,000 people
Right,
from
nothing's
10 years
different.
ago
Yeah.
that are going to the games now.
Right.
and they just don't allow you to get in as easily.
I mean, I'm
it's
obviously a huge fan. I'm on an OU football podcast.
That's obvious, yeah.
Which one are you, the two homers or the realist?
I'm Jay.
Wait.
He doesn't
I-
feel the need to label himself.
Yeah. You guys label yourselves all you want.
I got lazy,
Hey,
by the way.
I honestly don't enjoy going to the game.
I agree.
Like I want to go because it's a totally different experience
It's
than the
getting worse
television.
and worse and worse.
But I don't really enjoy going to the game, and that sucks
It's getting worse.
massively.
And I go to lots of away games. I see the experience everywhere else, and it's not this bad.
It's not.
It's not this loud. It's not this antagonistic from the gate to everything else that's going on. I don't.
And I
I don't
have
feel
I have
like I'm
currently
trouble.
a young teenage son, but for the last decade I've had a child, right? And
He's still your
Where
child. He's still your
well, he's still my chump. But the DNA, we have not DNA tested for this.
He does look a lot
He
like
d-
more
he
muscular
does.
than you.
But it's not. It's brutal. It's brutal where we choose to sit. That's
Yeah,
all I
when you
can
sit
speak.
these-
That's all I can
so
speak for. is
These
where we
guys, the
sit.
Upper West Side,
Yeah.
I would never want to
No,
sit there.
yeah, it's brutal. Going to the concession stand.
That's frank.
I'm not kidding. Last year, I've said this before, but last year I missed an entire quarter
Yes, you did.
of football,
Waiting in line.
getting M&Ms and a drink and nachos.
You know you can order that to your seat with your phone.
No.
Yeah, good
Good
luck
luck
with that.
It's just so bad. It can't be that bad.
I mean,
It's
literally,
so bad.
we went to, I went to the Navy game.
Yeah.
At the Armed Services Bowl. And getting in could not have been easier.
Right.
When we went to Tulsa.
Yeah.
That's a 45,000 seat stadium, so it's less people, but it couldn't have been easier getting in.
Everywhere we've gone, we went to Missouri. We went
I know.
everywhere we've gone. We've
Kansas
gone to
State, Kansas.
we've gone to bowl games. We go to
We've
OU
been to all
Texas.
the Big 12 stadiums.
The only thing that's as bad is OU Texas, and that's a stadium they basically have only half-ass updated once or twice in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Tennessee wasn't hard to get in. It was like a maze once you got into the
Well, going to
game.
the restroom at Tennessee was a disaster.
Yeah.
So
Because there was about enough room for 15 people in a section of 30,000.
Well, they're supposedly
So-
making improvements, and we don't see them. They release troll videos where Castiglione's telling us about all these improvements that are coming.
For the press
None of them are
box.
here. He said they're going to. They went and redid the video. They in all the speakers. They went and recalibrated them all. All they did was make them louder. You could hear them crackling when the crowd was quiet. They're crackling in the background. We listened to the band the few times the band's playing, and they're echoing because they're playing the band and they're then
They're
putting it
mimicking.
on, mimicking it. They got the mics on it so that it's going through the damn jumbotron again. It doesn't make sense.
so
How many times can
In-
you find an item out of, they had a
Yeah.
Whataburger 3
oh my
thing,
God, who
they
cares?
did the Red Solo Cup thing,
Oh.
and then they did the Heisman thing.
right.
So apparently, if you were really into watching things move around and trying to guess which one it's at,
My
this
kids-
is the thing you should go to.
So if
I-
you
I
are a
can't-
child,
Have you seen
a
Squid Game?
child,
Do you know how popular Squid Game
a
is?
circus crap. Circus
Now, if we were
My kids are like, hell yeah, what's your game?
Street games.
if we were killing people midfield, that would be entertaining. Like,
A little girl in front of us would have died.
like,
Fine.
come on.
I thought Reggie Powers would kill the guy.
No, I will. When we went, just sort of going back in 2000, we went to OU Texas A&M,
Yeah.
and all the OU fans laughed about how they only had the four corners of the stadium open to get in,
Right.
and how
made
the
fun
lines
of
were
them.
so long, and made fun of them. Like, how can they not run a football stadium? And for some reason, we've decided that's going to be
Yes, yeah.
Well, that's who we
our
are.
football stadium.
That's how we are.
Going back to
Yeah.
fan experience
hope.
now.
Yeah.
Now maybe it's I'm gonna be the really old person, a different generation of what people need constant entertainment. But when I think about when I was a kid, when I was 13 or 14, why I liked going to games.
While you were a 7-year student.
Right. Well, I was 8 years actually.
and you're
8 year student. 8 year student.
Sorry, doctor.
Yeah. But when you think about it,
There's in a JD, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, just a few degrees. I supported this university. No, it was going under without me. But what you enjoyed about it was not all the let's have a gimmicky game going on. Let's have everybody vote on your song. Let's let's do this or that. Like, I didn't need to be entertained constantly. We used to joke too, not that you don't want a good tailgate experience, but you joked that when the people up north talked about how great tailgating was in homecoming, we said, because you don't have an event to be happy to cheer for,
Yeah.
we're so worked up and we're ready to get to the game that we're not sitting around tailgating. And now it's all like, we just want to entertain you.
I mean, it's very ADHD.
Right. It's ADHD. It's at many points in the game, it feels like, oh crap, look, a football game broke out in this circus.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very frustrating.
Where does this come from? Right?
I don't know.
Who enjoy like where's the positive feedback coming from?
I agree. I
To
don't
the
understand.
university.
Who's telling them they need
Yes.
a hype guy who's going to scream at us?
Right.
So
He's yelling at us.
So it's some consulting firm where they say, look, people are going to sit on their couch and they're going to watch from home because it's this great experience. We got to make the in-game experience better, and here's how you can do
But
it.
it's the
Because-
opposite.
But
for
it's
me.
literally
And it's the
better.
opposite, and I think it's the
If I didn't have a
opposite.
25-year streak going, I would pick and choose which big games I went to, and I would stay home for the others
So
because
I want to be able
they're
to
ruining the
So
live
20-some year streak when we moved was hard to give up, and now if I had that streak to break, I'd be like, I don't care.
I want to be able to talk to my friends
Yes.
in between,
Right.
and I want to have internet service to text my friends
Yep.
or to do anything else. That's all I want.
Right.
Well,
I don't want noise.
great experience. Great,
That's it.
great example of that today.
I want quiet. There's some
Alex
teeth.
came
I
and
need
sat between
some
us, and he's
teeth
talking
during
to
the
me, and
game.
he's trying to talk to me and ask me questions, and I can't understand him. He is literally 5 inches from me, and I cannot hear him because of what's going on in the speakers. And it's absurd. It's
And-
absolutely ridiculous.
And
I want to hear the
Okay.
drunk guy
He's right here.
4 seats below me yelling whatever he's yelling. Like, I want to hear that.
it goes back to, again, another thing we made fun of. It's when Kansas State would say good for a Wildcat first down, and we
Right.
all laughed about you cheer for first
And
down.
now we cheer for
Now
first
we
down.
And
do.
now we cheer
Now
for
we do.
first downs. And now we say boomer, and there is a third of the stadium that says Sooner right after it. And it's obnoxious.
It is obnoxious. It's
Small time.
degrading. It's small time.
It's small enough, but I'm gonna badmouth a lot of fans. I think it's an uneducated fan base as well, because they're not as interested in what's the personnel we're putting out here, what are we trying to do. They don't care to get into the minutia a little bit. That there was a time when people really cared about
Well, those
that.
people aren't listening to our podcast.
I wonder.
But I'm okay. How many here were a little bit upset that Deion Burke switched his number? You know, it's like, hey, you're
I know
supposed to be
1%
six.
was. Elise did not like it.
Right. And I'm saying, but it's kind of like, well, now I have to relearn everybody's number. There was a time I memorized people's phone numbers by just having your last 2 numbers, which OU football players you were. But you can't do that
I'll
anymore.
give you. Go ahead.
What
Ellis.
about the announcer today? Did you catch all the mistakes?
Yes.
Because me and Nolan were talking about it, and he was saying complete pass, and it was an incomplete pass.
Right.
And then on the fumble that went for a touchdown, he said something that wasn't a fumble for a touchdown.
Right.
Was that a kickoff?
It was a
It
kickoff.
was a kickoff.
Yeah,
He
kickoff,
hit the
yeah.
ground, the ball comes out after
Yeah.
the fact, picks up, runs it in. The idiot redneck, or the roughnecks, are popping the shotguns, thinking it was a touchdown on the other end of the field.
Right. Because
Because
of that.
They didn't know any better.
How many
The
times-
announcer, I mean,
How many times did the referee mess up?
Yeah.
It will replay
penalty,
first
it's-
down.
we'll replay
Oh,
second down. Oh wait, no, it's first down. And then it's third down. Nope, it's second down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Max
I bet
about
it's their
that. He
first game
said the
this
poor
season.
guy's only
Yeah.
talked 4 times and he's made 3 mistakes. So I'll give you 2 positives. One is I thought the field looked pretty good.
Yep.
It now that might be that it rained so much that they told Brent Venables he can't play on it in practice, and that might have kept him off from. I did notice there's a few sandy spots. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like in the Michigan game if it holds up and throughout the season. But the other positive would be I like the 3rd to 4th quarter experience a lot better. It was a nice mixture of let's hype it up, let's talk about it. Let's get excited. It wasn't the Toby Keith song yet again.
So
It was a lot better there. I thought that
I mean, if they
I
just
felt
did it
like
for
that
last
would
season
be-
as a tribute, every game last season.
Yeah.
That
and it
then now they've
sucked.
stopped
It was stupid.
It sucks.
It
Yeah.
stuck.
Well,
It was dumb.
I mean,
It was
I think
dumb.
I saw a lot of videos of away teams that came to Oklahoma
I loved it.
that loved it. Tennessee fans.
Guess
loved
who
it.
doesn't care? This guy. Don't care. I
Alabama
don't care.
fans thought it was cool.
So-
Don't care.
So-
I don't care that they like that jingoistic hillbilly song that shouldn't be played and wasn't intended to ever be played. And that was based on
Are
a
you
bad war
American?
that we should,
Yeah.
I am a true American and not somebody that
Yeah,
had
no.
illegal wars that they shouldn't have fought. So no, I don't like the song and I definitely don't like playing it every damn time. Toby Keith has a good entire
catalog.
catalog.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you could play a lot of different songs that would be really
One
good
song
and
you
more
can't play.
appropriate. And that's the only one they played. End of rant.
Well, wait,
But I like the.
do you
the
like when they
fourth
play
word
Margaritaville or with
No, I did
with
not.
the lyrics up there, and 99% of the people did not know the lyrics.
Yeah, if you don't know the lyrics, I'm not a supporter of ICE, but that might be the people we need to kick out. If you don't know the lyrics to Margaritaville, and again, if you want to think, I don't like it when they sing the extra thing into it, like they do in Boston when they do Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline, and I really don't like it in Margaritaville. We don't need to repeat the salt. We don't need to repeat so good, so good. No, don't do that. I don't like it. That's not how the singer sung it. So that's as bad
So,
as
let's
that's
talk about something else that's always a bone of contention for that side of it.
I love
The students leaving. There's always been an
They were
apologist.
good. They were
There
good.
was an
They were
apologist for the
good.
students
They were good
that it's
this time.
hot and they left in the third quarter. The whole top section.
I could give two shits if the students stay or leave.
But hold on. But why I bring it up though?
7.
Why I bring it up?
I care.
Because I
don't
think
care.
I think
I
okay, why I bring it up is because I think 90% of the circus that goes on is trying to engage the students in this.
Yeah.
Okay, I can
And
see
if the
that.
students are leaving, then why the heck am I doing this over here?
I'll give you that, but
Because they hate it. I mean, they're
it's
just not
it's
singing.
just what they do. So.
Right.
I'm over it. I guess I'm numb to it. It's just
I
how
mean, it
the
was
students.
21-3.
I'm
It was
not
like
saying,
game
It's
was
just how
over.
the students react though.
but I
Like-
don't care.
How about all the people that were leaving when it was? I mean,
like how
it
can-
was
how
probably
can
not a
they-
game, but they.
We can only have so many
You
old
have a problem with
snakes,
that?
right? It's just it is. What
I
it
don't
is.
care about the students leaving. What I care about
I don't
is
care about
if you're
anybody
making a fan experience catering to a group that leaves in the third
Yeah, I'll
quarter,
give you that.
you have made the wrong fan experience.
Correct.
You should be catering to the people that are the 8 to the 16-year-olds kids who
Yeah.
are there, who do still are amazed when they're on the Jumbotron, which is how many adults are amazed when they're on the Jumbotron? I am so, I mean, I'm amazed by that. It's like they don't understand that's not really them. It's like, look, I'm here and I'm there. How is this possible?
Yeah.
It-
Word.
What I'm hearing is
They go crazy. And the
We need
people
more-
around him knocking like, look, we're on a screen.
what you're saying is we need more Tupac.
Yes.
We need more
100%.
Tupac. Okay.
So it's like they are trying to do something and they just observed a few examples of it that are bad examples and they're trying to
But
piece
they
it
think it's
together.
good, yeah.
And they think this is good, this works, we'll do this. It's like you can't just create authenticity out of nothing. That's
Right.
definitionally not
They
possible.
should probably hire a firm to analyze that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably should not because they keep hiring these people that come, they just hire us. You know what they should do is focus more on the football and just be better. And let's just do that, right?
But what they really should do is pull the season ticket holders based on tenure and start contacting people and rate
Before they lose them all.
and
So that's-
wait what those people value, because those are the people that are going to be dropping off.
No, that's actually legit. I was being
Right.
facetious.
But I-
That's legit.
That could be all be done in an email.
It
yeah,
could be done in
yeah.
email, but
And they
there's-
do send the email and they don't listen to
Yeah,
it.
they don't.
Look,
there's
look.
an email. I
I'm not
guarantee
saying-
you.
I'm
I
not
think they did
saying-
turn the music down. They turned the volume down. I want to say towards the end of last season.
Right.
I'm not
Because
saying
we
to
noticed it,
discount
we're like,
Yeah.
to
I wanna say
discount
like
the
3
single
games ago,
ticket,
like,
they-
the single
they turned the
ticket,
sound
ticket
down,
issuer,
and
or
now they blasted it
single
up again.
ticket buyer. But yes, you absolutely need to cater to who is donating,
Yeah.
who is spending their money on their tickets.
Hey, donations isn't everything.
It's great that
Oh.
it's great that there's single ticket purchasers, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
I don't care about them. Honestly.
Right.
Like that's great. You come one game a year, fantastic. We're not going to try appease you on all
No,
this
we
entertainment.
can't. We can't cater to that group. We need to cater to the people that are the hardcore fans and keep them because you're losing them and you're losing them in droves. I don't think they realize how much they're losing them because I look around at the people that are at a game like this and they're not the people that are going to be there at the Michigan game.
It's like I said earlier, the couple that was sitting next to last year, they flew in for the game, and they basically hated it. I'm not lying. They absolutely hated it. These are people that took an airplane to come back here to watch a football game,
And they're not going to.
and they're like, "This sucks."
I had a
Yeah.
kid sitting next to me that I ended up talking to at halftime. He had a British accent. So I started
How
talking to
did you
him.
know? You talked to him because of the British accent, and then how did you
I
know
did.
that before? You just
Sure,
heard
he was
talk-
talking
Are you
to a
sure it
friend.
wasn't Australian?
No, he was British. So he was talking to his
was he
friends.
cockneyed or was he kind of more high class?
Scouser.
No, he's a Brighton fan.
He-
So
he-
if I was talking to English Premier League, he had been to 265 Brighton games. He was
Wow.
probably 20 years old,
Wow.
and he had like a app that showed him all the games he never attended and stuff, and it was wild.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
because they track people over there.
And so, well, no, he keeps,
Yeah, they use real
himself.
data.
But he was at like 265 Brighton home games.
Right.
And he was telling me Tottenham was the stadium he visited the most because he's also an NFL fan, and he likes the Packers. So he's gone and seen games just randomly at Tottenham's new stadium. And I swear, the first quarter he was dumbfounded by how awesome it was. He was telling me, the biggest stadiums over there, I think Tottenham's like 62,000. It's one of the biggest ones in the English Premier League. I think maybe the La Liga in Barcelona and those type of places are bigger. But he was like, there's 80-something thousand people here. This is crazy. And he's like,
so he liked that.
and then they were doing the what is the White Stripe song? The
Nation
the
Army.
Seven Nation
Nation
Army.
Army.
We're doing the OU.
Right.
And he's like, that is incredible. So he starts
Yes,
videoing it so he
yes,
can send it to
yes.
his friends in England
Yeah.
about how awesome that was before the game.
Yeah.
And then literally he left at halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, and before he got up to leave, and I was like, are you leaving? Because it's like he left his shirt. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, your shirt's behind here. He's like, okay. So he gets up to leave. And I was just thinking, you're at something you think this is an awesome experience.
We can't keep it whole
Even
game.
comparable to
Yeah.
English Premier League, which those fans are crazy.
Right.
And he's like, yep, I'm headed out. And he stayed for a half.
Well, I think that's indicative, though, maybe of we get the hot rod going by. Wow. Maybe that is how good they've got it at the start. And they do have a really good lineup of everything they do with the hype video and everything
Yeah.
else. And then it aside from the volume,
Then he turned
and
to
then
the
it
NBA.
just falls off a cliff and
Yeah.
turns into the worst version of the NBA.
Memorial Stadium's the 39th largest stadium in the world.
39th largest.
That's interesting.
No.
Dang.
Well, it needs a lot of work
But it's
to be better.
It's got $450 million worth of work coming up.
Yeah,
Right.
supposedly.
but to go back to fan experience, it's kind of neat the first time, but when you're 3 hours into it, you
Tap
had the
out.
headache
Okay,
and now
tap
you're
out.
tired of it.
It is a headache.
And
It
you're
is a
plugging
headache.
I'm literally gonna bring earplugs to the game.
It was, I
And I've
covered
never done that.
I covered my ears and I've never had to do that.
Yeah,
It was
same here.
just so painful and annoying. And again, I almost want a rule that says you can't do the music. You have to be, if you want to be that loud, you have to be that loud as a crowd. Because what's to stop anyone with 30,000 fans from pumping in music and being just as loud and saying, well, it's a tough place to play because, yeah, they've got a really big speaker system. They've discovered electricity and they can make it a really loud experience. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
They've got nobody in the stands. We've got 83,000 people in the stands. Let's make it annoying to be an opponent because of that.
Yeah.
Well, there were a few times where our defense is trying to get the fans engaged, and nobody was really yelling.
No.
Yeah.
It was quiet.
I mean, I saw Ohio State do that against Texas today too. I think that's just they hear it through their helmets and it's
Well, that may
loud,
be
but then
some
they're,
of it.
They're still trying to pump the crowd up.
They may be as bad at it as we
But
are.
I'm saying, I think you're checking people out.
Yes.
The fans are checking out from cheering because they're you
It's
said,
like you're watching
everybody.
it on TV.
It's like you're watching on TV.
Yeah.
And why am I yelling? Like, I'm yelling at my TV because I'm a lunatic. But I'm not. I don't sit there on a fourth down and scream as if I think I'm going to add to the noise factor. Well, I'm not doing it in the stadium because I'm like, what's the point?
Right.
I can't be louder than this thing.
Right.
It's a joke. And then that goes off and the real play happens and it is quiet because then the rule kicks in and you can't be loud. Well, let's transition and finish out talking about Michigan. Looking forward to Michigan. It's a big game. It is the most important game for Brent Venables in his career. I don't think it's a must win, but if you don't win, it is a really tough situation. And
I think it's a must win.
I think we're probably, let's start with what we think the line's gonna be.
it's a program defining win or loss.
I think OU
2.5.
gonna be,
OU.
I think it's gonna be more than that. I'm gonna say
Can I look? 'Cause I
I'm gonna
know
say
what-
5.5. See if it's out already.
It was, it was out last week.
Well, but it's gonna change.
after
Can't
today.
change.
I would
I'm
say,
saying on FanDuel.
Oh.
I was
Some of
honestly
us live in
thinking
states
4.
that have freedom.
5, 4, 2.5.
Give it 2.5.
What do you got?
Man, I don't think they were very impressive today, either team, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say 4.5.
All Sooners.
Yeah.
2.5 is what I would say.
All right, what do you got?
Well, I gotta pull it up.
See if you can pull it up.
Last I looked, it said 2.5.
Last our stats guy looked, it said 2.5.
What
So
you could
That was
argue,
before today's game.
what you could argue
That was,
mean,
no, that was like an hour ago.
an hour ago he looks, it's 2.5 for OU.
that means
I think that was on me.
it could be a 1-point Michigan victory. I mean, you're basically given 2.5, 3 points for home field advantage.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
I don't know. How much is that Jumbotron worth? I
Well-
think that, yeah, I don't know.
Negative.
You know, to a degree, it's kind of like in basketball, where if they ever got their stuff together, fans, that is, they would understand. Here's what you would do if you want to make a free throw shooter miss, be dead silent.
Mhm.
And if you and wait and
Change the rhythm.
get a coordinated yell right at the same time. Now, of course, that's really hard to coordinate. But I'm gonna yell and I'm gonna move my hands, that just becomes white noise, and you tune that out. I actually think the Jumbotron is white noise. And actually fans, because there's a human experience, and you hear people yelling against you, there's a human reaction that's different than just loudness. Because loudness is loudness. Loudness is music. We've heard this music. Every one of these players has heard that music before. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, even the
That-
coaches pump in music during
Yeah,
practice. and
Music
everything
doesn't
else.
mean
It's
I
just-
hate you. People yelling "I hate you" means, oh my God,
And
they
at
don't like me.
Texas, throwing stuff on the field at refs changes calls.
That's true. And so it does that's a great example. Like people react to stuff. People react to human reaction or human behavior coming at you. And so if you've got people actually yelling, that has a different psychological experience than just noise.
Now I know the TV experience isn't the same, but I was watching Florida State, Alabama today, and I don't know if the microphones were different or picking up more field noise or whatever. Florida State was on fire. Like it was loud. I
Oh,
couldn't
We
believe
were against Alabama.
what
last
it
year, too.
sounded like against Alabama.
And we were against Alabama, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that we adjust
I
how
hope
much
so.
stuff that we do
But I hope
to
so.
allow the fans to do
I
that?
don't know. Do you have any faith in this group?
No, but I'm just saying, but you guys go to every home game. I go
Right.
to most. So you guys have more experience than I did. Do you feel like they tone it down some on massive games and let the fans do more?
It's hard to say. I don't know. I hope so. And I hope they do on this one.
We'll find out next week.
We'll
yeah.
find out
Like
next
today,
week.
like
Today
today,
we're pumping in way
do
too
they
much
feel like we need to create an environment today because of who the opponent was? Right.
Yes.
And if it's
That could be.
right, and
that
if
could be.
and if it's an opponent that's coming in it's more hype, they just let the crowd do it.
That
I
could
think
be.
they're egotists who think that their ideas are wonderful ideas and this is gonna be so great. Everybody's
Doesn't
gonna
matter. yeah.
it's gonna be awesome.
I fear that's the truth. Yep. I think that is a big risk that's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, one big fail was the tennis team hitting the balls up into the stands. A couple of them drilled people. They were hitting them with their rackets, and one just, first row just caught one right in the face.
Well, maybe that person just wasn't a good fan. Maybe they should take this guy out.
At least it wasn't a WNBA game.
But going back,
You never know what's going to show up on the field at one of those.
going back to must win, I think it's a super critical game
Mhm.
because of last season.
Well,
If we would have had a 9-3 regular season last year, I
Right.
think people would say it'd be great if we won, but we're going to still be good.
Yeah.
If we get beat, I think people are going to say, "Well, crap! Now we have to play the SEC."
Well, I think
We
that's
may get a lot of
true.
things to check out.
And
Right.
I mean, you
That's right.
only get so many. Like if 8-4 is the real number, somewhere in there is the real number. You only get so many losses, right? And so if you lose this one, then we can just look at the schedule and say, well, here's one you have to win because you didn't win Michigan. So Auburn doesn't scare me.
I think if you don't win Michigan, you've got to look at, gosh, the Tennessee game, the Ole Miss at home game.
Alabama.
You've got to pick one up somewhere though. Like where are you
Auburn's
going
a
to pick
win.
one up?
Auburn's a
Oh,
win.
one that you have to pick up.
Yeah, one you got to pick up. I
You
mean,
gotta win.
yeah,
If
South
you don't
Carolina
beat-
at
if
South
you don't-
Carolina.
If you don't beat Michigan, you gotta win one of your road games.
Yeah.
South Carolina or
Bama.
Alabama.
You might already have to win one of your road.
No,
games.
I do. I think
you
you need
might
to
have
win the
to win
Tennessee game
two.
already.
Yeah, go 8-4.
So now you've
Yeah.
got to win like South Carolina probably. That's
Right.
the game. If
Yeah.
you lose Michigan, you've got to win South Carolina.
You get into a situation where you're trying to stay away from being behind the 8 ball. And we have a schedule that is, this could put you behind the 8 ball. This could put you behind the 8 ball. To be honest, what we saw out of Texas today, we could be behind the 8 ball by losing to Texas because Texas might not be that good.
They're not
Texas is
good.
going to fall to 5 or 6.
But they might not be that bad.
They might not be that bad, but still, you at least got to be respectable in that game. It's your big rivalry.
I mean,
and you might have to win that game if you look at the
do you
breadth
think
of the season.
do you think we're ahead of
and if you
Ohio
drop
State
a few.
offensively right now? Because they struggle. They
We
struggle to
might-
move.
We
the football.
might be. We might be.
I don't know what to know about offense right now.
It's hard to know.
We're not
No,
gonna know
no,
until
I don't know
next
about
week.
Ohio State's offense either
No,
because
we're not gonna know.
because
who's
after
going
watching
until next
football
week.
today,
There's no way.
all these big time recruits, right, that are getting their first college start,
Mhm.
they all struggled. All of them today. Like experience in a weird way has not mattered more
I agree.
than ever right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Arch was as good as you could get. He struggled. Julian Sand was the #1 quarterback recruit in the country the year after Arch. He played good, but he wasn't winning the football game. Alabama's quarterback waited 2 years to play today. How did he do?
That's why I lost. Or no, LSU
No,
won.
that's my one.
But
So
no,
Cooper-
but he's experienced. But no, both those kids were experienced. So
Yeah.
that's a different
I
game.
got you.
But like all the young kids who have all the talent in the world but have no experience in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But they,
I don't know if it's changed because
No, I think
it
it's
wasn't
the
too
same.
long ago.
I think I would just sort of twist a little bit. Like Arch had a couple games of starting.
Two.
Didn't Ohio State's quarterback, he played a few snaps last year. Jackson Arnold, for going back 2 years for us, played one,
couple.
played a couple games. It's not just no experience. No experience being the guy on the day one is what they don't have.
Right.
So that
They
should be our
struggle.
benefit.
Yes.
With Underwood coming in for Michigan. 'Cause
Exactly.
He's
That's
only
my
played
hope.
once.
Yes.
He's only played one game.
Right.
So you've got to put a
Should be.
lot of pressure on him. You got to make him beat you with his arm.
Yep.
You got to make Michigan beat you with the pass, which is the same thing, but it's more impactful to say you're going to sell out.
My only
against the
concern
run.
with that is you can live to play another down if you let someone run for 14 yards, right? But
Right.
if you just man up or cover zero and they hit it, they only have to be lucky like 3 times
Right.
and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
agree.
That's what scares me. Like if we just sell out and be like, hey, beat us with your arm, he might
Gets it once.
accidentally beat us
Yeah,
with his
if I
arm,
do it. Yeah.
right?
Right.
Like not by skill or by purpose or anything else. He
It's
just
not gonna
might
be.
hit it.
It's not gonna be an easy game. Like he's gonna have he's a decent quarterback in my opinion.
Oh, #1 quarterback in the country.
Well, I think it's beyond that. I think it's not going to be an easy game. I have to say because of what I saw today, and I saw struggles that I did not. When I'm playing this out in my fantasy mind, I did not see us struggling the way we struggled
run the
That's a
ball.
little fantasy to pick us 10.
to run.
To run the ball.
Well, that was realistic.
Right, we're-
to pick
we're
10
1-0.
too.
Running the ball.
Well,
Running
yeah.
the ball was by far.
So when I look and think about what's going to happen against Michigan, I was thinking about that today, thinking this is going to be tough. This is going to be a real struggle game. And if we're down to a single score, this might be actually, speaking of a must-win game for Brent Venables, this might be a must-win, make good decisions in the clutch. So when it comes to time management, when it comes to a timeout that you should or shouldn't take, this might be the game where it's make or break on making the right decision there. Going for 4th down. You better know when you want to and when you don't want to, and who's making that call.
Start the correct running back. That's a start.
That's a big part of
That's
it.
a big part of it.
And who is the correct starting running back?
It's odd.
It's out.
That's
It's
what
odd.
it
Maybe
sure
he
should
was-
be.
maybe
It
he was-
should be.
We're paying him.
They,
$1
I
million
think he
to
was
come
still a little banged up, and they didn't want to start him because they're big on the practice guy. So if he missed a bunch of practices and Barnes has been this, stalwart guy in practice for 4 years, they gave him the loyalty start today. But I honestly thought after the first series, and then he comes in the second series, we did 2 series of Barnes doing nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have been on the field the rest of the game.
Right.
Once Blaylock came in and showed what he was capable of on a
Right.
swing pass, couple runs, I thought Robinson should have been in by at least the 5th drive.
I
Right.
And he didn't come
Agree.
in until the
second half.
Yeah.
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 8 or 9, whatever drive that
Yeah.
was.
I get tired of the ors on the depth chart.
Yeah.
Just hurt somebody's feelings and say, this kid's better than you. He's our starter. You're not the
Yeah,
starter.
my wife or
Right.
That's
right.
just put it out.
But I do, like, I get tired of that. I think that that's bad. I do feel like there is a lot of people that this day and age, they're getting their money and they're not maybe playing as hard. I mean, the worst thing for football is Jackson Arnold, in a sense of you have one of the historically worst seasons in college football history, and then you supposedly get $2 million, $2.1 million to go to Auburn. If I'm a 5-star recruit, I'm thinking,
That's the
well, the
market.
first year,
Yeah.
I just don't want to get injured because I'll cash in 1 year, then I'll go transfer somewhere else and cash in. But now I got to really play because now I'm not going to get 3.
Well, that's
But you,
But
you guys are free. You guys are free market people though. Like that'll balance itself out, right?
Well, it could if they do it right, but you got to do it right.
But-
So that could be the problem, or maybe that's the genius of what they're doing is they're saying, you know what, I know Ott, and I know the paycheck he's getting, and I know what he's getting paid for, and basically, maybe with him saying, but hopefully not.
He's not getting paid to beat Illinois State.
Exactly. Maybe they're
That's
saying
what I'm
it,
thinking. That's why
and
they do the
saying-
ors.
Yeah.
That's why they don't play him. They're saying, hey, we're
and they're
paying
going to give
him.
this guy a chance. They're going to say, look, Barnes, you're going to get your chance and you're going to get to show what you can do. And that means either you become in the rotation guy at Oklahoma, or you get to go,
Right.
you get to go somewhere else next
That's what I
year.
think it is.
And we're going to give you something to go and recruit, use as negotiation
It is
for that recruitment.
it is the NFL preseason where where they're making the pitch. You're playing not for the spot on this team, you're playing for a spot on another team,
Right.
and we're going to give you that. I think when they're recruiting guys, they're saying to them, we're going to give you a chance and you're going to get snaps in games because we're going to get you enough tape that if you want to transfer, you can go transfer.
That could be.
And I think they're looking at it a little bit too, is we're going to process certain guys out that we want to get,
Don't need.
we don't
Right.
need.
Well, maybe,
I
and
mean-
again, maybe that's the genius of it. Maybe they're saying, you know what? They're in the coaches meeting. They're saying, I don't know about Barnes. We need to figure Barnes out. Give Barnes some more snaps so we can see in game time if he's the guy or not. And maybe by the end of the season, maybe last year is such an aberrational year, we got to throw that out because they said, here's our long-term game plan is we're going to figure out who is the guy. And by the time we're in the hunt for something, we're going to have the right offensive line, running back, receiver combination. And last year, it's just such a mess. They don't get to do any of that.
So, yeah.
But this year they get to do that if they do it right and if they win. And so they get those guys, and you're saying, like, well, if you're looking at it and trying to get some logic to it, and you say, why didn't Barnes play in the last 4 games when he was the starter in game 1? The answer is because we were trying to figure out if he really could be the guy, and we had made a determination he was not the guy. And by then we understood
Right.
who the right people were, and we have them, and we're still in the hunt for something.
I hope that they're this smart. I would hope they would also be saying, we can't trade like in the NFL midseason. So our team is our team. So I'm only going to play my best guys in the 5 or 6, 7, 8 games that really matter.
Mhm.
So Patrick Mahomes takes 1 snap in the first preseason game for the Chiefs. That's what we're doing with, like, we're going to get you in for a couple plays because I'm not going to get you injured
Right.
in game
Against Kent State.
against Illinois State,
But he
against Kent
did
State.
play on the kickoff team,
Right.
which is weird for
But,
that.
but they never kicked it to him. So maybe they told him if they kick it to you, you fair catch it.
Maybe so.
I mean, Ott's OU career currently is 1 carry minus 3 yards.
Right. But I'm
Why
saying,
He's awful.
Why even play in the game?
but it's this, I mean, you look, it's
And the
somewhat
pass-
NFL preseason though. I mean, maybe
because
they're saying
you have to get live snaps,
Right.
right?
Well, then
But-
he should have been the starting back in the first snap of the second half.
But he had live snaps last year at a major college, and he knows what football's about. Like, why do I need to have him in there?
I don't know why he plays at all, to tell you the truth. It's either all or nothing
No,
for
he
me.
should have sat all day today.
Right.
He should not have touched the field. But
Well,
there's
I mean,
there's
yeah.
no excuse
Yeah.
for it. Like
I would-
it's not necessary. Live snaps are important, but like Mike, to your point, the guy's seen football. Like he knows what it looks like. He doesn't need to go and step on the field against Illinois State to go -3 yards. Like it's not necessary.
Even if he goes
whatsoever.
positive.
Running behind our
Right.
backup.
Oh
line.
yeah, like
That's the deal. I
That would've
think
been great.
one carry
we
carry
don't-
in the
but
fourth
I think
quarter
it's not
doesn't
important.
matter.
I think
Doesn't
that's the
matter.
deal. I think they blew through our, hodgepodge third string line that we were putting together and had a loss. And they're like, all right, get him out. Which is it's still
how do you-
dumb.
how do you
It's
not
still
see
dumb.
that coming?
Exactly. It's still dumb on the coaches.
Yeah.
I'm just saying at least they said,
Well, it's
okay, what are we doing?
We
What are we doing?
criticize when
Yeah.
you put in a
We
backup
went out for
quarterback.
pass the next play and it was a terrible pass.
Exactly. So he was in there to, he was in live action. It's like we criticize when they put a third string or even a second string quarterback in, and you say, well, the guy doesn't have a chance because his offensive line is second and third string and his receiving core isn't the right people. So how can we expect him to do good? But he has to play because he's really just providing relief for the first string quarterback. That's not the case here. And you're having him come in and take these important snaps. I don't understand it at all, to tell you the truth. To me, that's very troubling.
Yeah. Well, it's almost as troubling. Just always go back to Jay's point about the big pass against Michigan. Like you can't give up that the coaches haven't figured out. Now I wanted a shutout today,
We all did. They
Right.
did.
but
And they got it aside from a turnover.
but shutouts are not what you want in college football. You don't need that. What you need, try for some big risk on offense, try to hit some big plays, try to score some points. And if you give up on defense, be aggressive, try to blitz and try to get turnovers. Maybe not against Illinois State, but try to make something happen. If you give up a score, big deal, because we know we're going to get the ball back and we're going to go down and score too.
Well, that's what we're going to have to do against Michigan. So let's wrap it up there. We're going to have to bring a much better level of football on all respects. As good as we thought that some of the units were today,
It's not like a scrimmage today.
everybody's going to have
Very
to
much
be
like a
better.
scrimmage.
You're going to have to be top notch in everything you do. And if any one unit is not as good as we'd like it to be, that's just that much better the others are going to have to be. You can't have 2 turnovers probably against Michigan and win. And you can't depend on turnovers, but you need to put yourself in a position to get turnovers from them. If it's not turnovers, it's turnovers on downs. So that's what they're up against, I think. And that's what they're going to have to do against Michigan. And it's everything. Everything's on the line.
Can't go 4 for 10 on third downs like we did today.
You're right. No, everything is on the line to have a good performance here in game 2. And if you don't, boy, it's going to be a different composition in the pod. Well, we're going to have a pre-game pod on previewing the game on Wednesday-ish. And I think it'll be on Wednesday. We'll come out and I don't know. We're going to be excited about it. It's going to be one of the biggest games in Oklahoma football in a long time. I think it's more important than the Tennessee
Biggest
game.
biggest game in Brent Venom's career.
Game day's gonna be
Biggest
there,
game in
right?
his career.
Game day's there.
Game
Game
day's there. It's going to be all here, and we're going to be there. Until then, Boomer
Sooner.